Oh, you could be earning 200K a year 7 months from now, 8 months, 9 months, a year from now, 2 years from now. Can you imagine that? Timmy taking it away. So this is a client success story, a testimonial in a sense, of one of the clients Yana and I have been working with. And when they first came to us, they were doing well. Like, they had started their own online business, online coaching service themselves. And they came to us and said, hey, we want to get to 200K a year. And we think we're more than capable of doing that. And that's like a this year goal. And then beyond that, which is what we're building now, obviously. And this is a little inside look at how we did that. In the time that they've worked with us, they've been able to have this work fully sustain them, their lifestyle, their just themselves, like their lives, all the stuff like rent and all that kind of the fun stuff, as well as like enjoy life and be able to, one of them was working as a personal trainer. He was able to leave personal training, has his own home gym set up, but not have to depend on the personal training side of things. So there are a few things, from Mr. Eggy Stardust, there are a few things that we did in order to get them to that point. And one of the biggest ones that we focused on my front at least, is getting the mindset or the leadership side of things down. Yes, that's true. My man, Eggy Stardust. Money is not the thing. Seek God, he is the truth. Absolutely. 100%. Labour not to be rich, cease from thine own wisdom. Wilt thou set thine eyes upon that which is not? For riches certainly make themselves wings, they fly away as an eagle toward heaven. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. And I strongly agree with that. And it's like, it's not really a monetary thing. And that's a bit of a tangent, but this is something that Yana and I said when we do still say, is like we were rich before we really made any money from our business because we had God and we have God. So in all of that time that we've been in business, doing our thing, loving life, and, building our businesses, we've been rich, bro. Like it's not just about money, it's not about that side of things. And I appreciate the, you wanting to share that, wanted to share that with you, my brother, Eggy Stardust, saying that. I appreciate it. And it's good. Like, it's also good to realize that being able to talk about money and be like, yeah, money's just a tool. Here are some cool goals to hit, that kind of thing. That's really being rich, mindset-wise. Not being like, if I make this much, then I'm valuable to God or to others or to myself kind of thing. That's not how it works. It is beyond that. And then when you can do that, that's when you can speak openly about money. Be like, I want to make this much a year. It's good to have those goals, those aspirations, because with that, for those that are called for it, that's the ability for you to serve God, for you to help others using that money, to do bigger things using that, to live and, enjoy life as well. That is part of it. And that's a big thing that we do. So it's great to be able to set those goals. Talk about money openly, say that I want to aspire for more and do that. And I think it's really important to not demonize, or not saying that this is what you were doing, by the way, Eggy Stardust. I'm just kind of going on a tangent here, but be able to do that without being like, no, I have to talk about money a certain way. I have to be a certain type of person. And if I talk about money at all, I'm evil and I can't aspire for more. That's just not the way it is. Again, not saying that's what you said, Big Sauce, but that is something that we can get really locked down in our minds. And that's when you're loving money. And then it's like all you're striving for is money. Absolutely. Seeking God. And that's where it kind of comes to my first point, is like that relationship with money is really important for being able to make more. Yeah, because it's not a bad thing to make more and make money and have that and be able to, contribute using that. But a big thing that is a part of is you being the right person. And that's where it comes, what it comes down to a lot of in business. Because if you're not the right person, you can't break through certain thresholds in business, because you're the one limiting yourself. Like, you're choosing to stay limited because God's built us with certain limits in business. And they're just like facts of life, that if your mind is a certain way and your spirit is a certain way, then you can't get to certain places. So that's a lot of what we work on, is being able to strive for more whilst being the right person, that's not bogged down by, oh no, I'm not worthy because I didn't make this money, like because I didn't do this thing. I didn't make that money in that amount of time. It's just like, they become like fun little goals, and it's a game, because business is a game essentially, that some are called to be able to play and play very well. But some people just don't see it that way. They're like, because business is so closely intertwined with money and your livelihood and your life, some people can't recognize the fact that it's a game. Like, and games will be hard, but you win by staying in it and by being successful. Exactly like Jana's saying here. Jana Lynn Official, money does not equal your worth. Absolutely. Unequivocally. It is unequivocally not equivocal, because it's equivalent. No, it's not equivalent. Yeah, absolutely. Money is not your worth, and that's the case. So, yeah, that would be advice number 1. Seek God. Yes. So, we can still strive for more and want bigger things, and not have to shame ourselves for that, because as a result, you won't get more out of that. That's if you picked that sound up, that was my camera running low. So we focused on the men behind the business, that side of things, and really locking in, like, they're already solid, like being able to do, they were at 100K a year roughly, just under, or like just thereabouts. So to bring it up to there is something that is like, you've already got some fundamental thing that you can do right there, and then we're going above that. So the foundation's already been set to a degree, and then it's small tweaks, some big mindset changes along the way, and doing stuff like ensuring that you're the right leader to be able to command that much money. I know that sounds very airy-fairy, but of course we've paired that with strategy along the whole way. Being able to be like, okay, here's what you're going to do, but a big thing there is no strategy will work if you're not the right person to go ahead and implement it, to go ahead and do what's required. And obviously we've got, if I do say so myself, it's easy for me to say, like on our team, like Jana being a strategic genius, like it's a gift, it's a calling, and it's such a fantastic thing to be like, okay, perfect. Now you know you have the absolute right strategy that's going to work. All you've got to do is get this right and actually do it. Execute it, follow through, and do the things that are required. And then you're like, yes, I'm going to see those results. So that's a big thing there. And then another big thing is removal of the timeline, not being like, I have to do it in this period of time. The world is not going to end if you don't get it in a certain period of time, because you're like, I know that that's along the way, because it's just like, it is one of the destinations as part of you already being successful through the striving. That's a big thing there. So we focused a lot on that side of things, on being the right leader, having a standard, because you got to realize that in business, when it comes to like issues with clients signing on and then going off, or like coming on and then pausing, and then, or like wanting to quit or putting payments on pause kind of thing, you never really build your roster to a point that you can do that. A lot of that the issue really, plain and simple, comes down to your leadership, the standard that you're setting. Because if you set a low standard where you basically say, yeah, it's okay for you to do whatever you want, we won't enforce things, we won't get everything done through and through, you're kind of like, people become a bit uncertain doing that. They're like, oh, how am I supposed to follow these guys? And like, why would I follow through? Why would I keep paying? Why would I be doing that? And a lot of that is subconscious. Like, people aren't actually consciously thinking of these things. That's like an emotional thing. But a lot of the time with that side of things, or decision making, people make emotional decisions and then they justify them with logic. Oh, this program's not working out for me. Oh, I've gotten good results, but oh yeah, sometimes there's not even that much logic to it, and that's okay. We're not judging for that or shaming anyone for that. It's just natural to do that for majority of people, and a way that you overcome that is subconsciously you give them a standard that they're like, okay, this is the expectation of me. This is what I need to do. This is the standard that's set. This is the standard of people within this program of like being a high caliber that come in. And these are also people that, like, when you get clients, they're not just low quality clients, because low quality clients, they quit, or they don't follow the programs. They want to pause, that kind of thing. Not saying just that, but like they want to pause when things get a little bit difficult. It's not a priority for them, and they're kind of like spinning their wheels. And if it's not the right time for them, they're kind of wasting your time, if that makes sense. And again, not saying that from a place of judgment, but a big thing you have to realize is that that's on you. The standard that you are setting as a leader, like the integrity that you have in your service, is set by you at the top, because that, like the rest of your business down from there, is a distillation of that. So when we did that and enforced that, then straight away we started to climb up and get more qualified people coming in. So on top of that, a lot of the things that we did like strategically were utilizing the content. Because fun fact, we haven't actually really run any ads or anything like this. This is all organic stuff. So it's all no boosting posts or anything like that. It's just been putting out quality content, high quality messaging, and like having that all work together, and setting up systems to be able to automate some of that as well. Automate high quality conversations to get onto calls and qualify people in the messages and that side of things, because that's just something you want to do, and something a lot of coaches don't know how to do. They don't know how to do that, how to utilize the strategic side of things, whereby they have a good conversation with someone and bring them up to a call, like a sales call, and actually have them be willing to jump on for 150 a week, 200 a week, that kind of thing. It's just not something a lot of coaches know how to do, because they're stuck in this mindset of, oh, the industry's a certain way. No. I have to conform to this standard. What are my peers going to think? Judgment. And you're so scared of that you actually never allow yourself to be successful, when in actuality, those people can't do anything about it, for one, and they're kind of wrong about what the standard should be. Like the standard, and this is like fitness-based stuff, the standard is low for a reason, because again, it comes down to the individuals within that, because there's a low standard of individuals, and I will stand by this, low standard by way of their business mind and that kind of thing, that we've descended from, essentially. But now it's about changing that standard. Well, that's part of what we're doing. Is being like, yeah, bro, you don't have to be the PT grinding away for like peanuts every week, having heaps of clients and being like, yes, this is the dream. Like, I'm broke. I'm so stressed about rent and not being able to live a life that I want. But, this is the dream, like staying broke, that kind of thing. That's not what we're about. Like, we're about actually making a good amount of money so that you can live well. And then as a result, you can serve your clients even better. So it's having that business side of thing. That's something that we've looked at as well with them. They already had that down pretty solid as well with their own mentality and that side of things, because hey, you got to have it to a degree to get to 100K a year, and that's collected. We're not talking like, oh yeah, do 200K a year in like monthly recurring revenue, in like, oh yeah, we've done this many sales. Because I'll go on this every single time, because I'm not a fan of coaches doing this, where they will say, yeah, sick, we got our clients to 10K a month within 6 months. But that's 10K a month monthly recurring revenue, which is basically them saying, it's like a fancy dressed up way of saying, cool, we did 10K a month in sales and that's it. But total contracted sales. So it's like, say you sign someone on for like $100 a week for like 6 months. So that technically counts as 2,600 towards your 10K a month. So you sign on 4 people like that. 4, yep. 4 people like that. And then they say, sick, you're at 10K a month. And it's like, what? Like, what are you talking about? Like, you're collecting $400 a week from that. That's That's not 10K a month as far as I'm concerned. I'm concerned, like when I say it, I mean 2,500 a week collected, basically. That's what I'm saying when I say 10K a month. And for 20K a month, obviously 5K a week kind of thing. Or 20K in the total of a month. That is big. Got a question here, Chris. What was your first business that got your first profits? My first business that got my first profits would have been my personal training business, because I started doing that. And then now my online business, the cleaning business side of things that we had as well. Basically every business, every business that we've run. So yeah, but my first was my personal training. And I started that in 2019. And yeah, I basically was personal training. I loved it. I still enjoy it. I'm obviously still involved in the fitness side of things. But yeah, and that really came down to having a few things down fundamentally by way of business strategy, but also mindset wise, like being the right person. And that really carried over, or like that really kicked up an extra notch when I got into the online coaching side of things. When I built up my own online coaching, online personal training, online coaching side of things, because I had to make sure, okay, am I the right person? Like, what does charging a certain amount for clients mean? What does it mean to actually run an online business? How can I provide value when I'm not physically there? Like, those are challenging things to come to terms with. But yeah, that's a big thing there. So that was my first. That's a long way of me saying that was my first business, personal trainer. My first profitable, that first business that got my first profits. Yes. So, quick sip. Yeah. So I'll come back to my clients. I went off on a big tangent there. But when it came down to it, like, we did that. We paired the strategic side of things. We had authority-based content as well. So I'm just skimming over some of the strategic things because it really is quite simple. There are intricacies, but until you've actually started implementing, you don't really get to see more of the intricacies, and it'll kind of just go over your head a lot of the time. But you know, there's a lot of detail I can still cover now that will be helpful to actually be implementable. But that's one of the biggest things is content that has that authority, that works. Analyzing and looking at the data as well is a big thing that we've looked back and done with them, and that we do with our businesses to be like, how'd this kind of post perform? Why? And like break that down. Why did that perform well? Why did it perform well versus this one? What elements were there to each? What do we experiment with? What do we play with, that side of things? How do we make the content more engaging? How do we get people to do a certain thing off of this kind of content? Do we want them to message you? Do we want them to follow you? Do we want them to sign up for coaching? That kind of thing. And where that all fits, because we've also essentially installed a funnel. Content being the top of the funnel where majority of people come in. That's where they get eyes on you. As well as that, you've also got DMing and messaging people so that you constantly, you're constantly going to have new people coming into that funnel as well, and consistently being able to bring in clients that way. So that's a big thing we've done. And then obviously if you increase the quality of that content above everything else, the quality of that content and the message that you have behind it, because, you know, we'd already sussed out things like their niche, who they're going to help, what they want to be known for. If you increase the quality there, the emotion behind what you're saying, how that's going to appeal to people, more people are going to come into the top of that funnel, and they're going to want to see what you have to say and listen and want to work with you as well. And as a result, more people make their way down the funnel to get to the very bottom where they become clients, essentially. As a little summary for that, that's funnels. Like everyone talks about funnels and that, you know, you start from the top, work your way down. Timmy making his way back into the video. And yeah, so we looked at content and their ability to have content that sells for them, because that's a big thing. Like DMs wise, that is a fantastic tool to use, manual or like cold outreach, and have that side of things. But the fact is, as much as I love that, I'm just taking off my sweatpants. That is a one-to-one approach. Like you can only message so many people that way. You literally, one message goes to one person, and high quality content will get that same message out to a multitude of people, to like hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people. kind of thing, or hundreds of people, that's cool too, or tens of people, even tens of people, that's like 10 people is 10 times more than would get out to one person. So understanding how to utilize your content and not just post stuff for the sake of it, because it's a mistake you see a lot of coaches make. They just post stuff and they don't have the strategy behind it. They're just posting, trying to get more eyes. And then a lot of the time, if they get more eyes, they're like, oh, sick, now no one wants to buy from me anyway, because it's good to get more eyes. Like, that's definitely a part of the strategy, but also having that kind of content that nurtures the people in your community or like your audience, that nurtures them into basically becoming clients, is a huge thing by way of that. And if you don't have that, you don't have the ability to put up an offer or like say, hey, I've got coaching spots, message me about them, and actually have people sign up to that, which is a lot of where coaches go wrong, because they're not willing to, like we said, comes back to the mindset side of things. They're not willing to do what it takes. They're not just like, they may, or most of them won't pay for any kind of mentoring or anything like that. But if they do, or if they hear things on the internet and like, oh, I should implement this strategy, they don't do it. And that's a big thing that these lads are fantastic with already. It's like they just do. And that's a big thing that we didn't really have to hone as much, that side of things. They're already really good with just like, if we say, hey, here's what you should do based on everything we've talked about, go off and do it. Boom, done. And then innovating and doing their own stuff on top of that. So they're also growing their own business. And a big thing there is maintaining your own leadership in your business. It doesn't automatically become, okay, this is someone else's business now. This person's going to run my business for me. It very much still needs to be your business. It is what we've talked about with them. And they knew this from day one. It's not like, okay, here you go, all the reins passed over to Yana and Kaey-Lib. It's like, no, you are still in charge of your own business. You're still a leader. You still call the shots. Everything we do is like consulting with you. You're basically paying a consultant to overview, keep an eye on everything, come in every week, 2 weeks and consult. And then it's up to you to take on those ideas or not, see what fits right, and then go ahead and do it. But we kind of go a little deeper, and it's like we'll go into the mindset side of things as well, for like, why does this not sit well? Why would this sit well? What strategy will you implement? How to actually have a framework to make decisions as well, to pick, because sometimes you don't know what you don't know. So that's another big thing, is like giving the strategies and like the specific thing to do alongside frameworks for like, okay, here's how, if this situation comes up again, here's how you deal with this situation. And that's how you create independent critical thinkers and coaches that can run their own businesses, and not like every time a problem comes up, they kind of just like go like blank in the eyes and be like, oh, consultant, what do I do? And that's a big thing you got to realize. Like, you're in charge of your business. No one else is going to run it for you until you hire someone to run it for you. And yeah, that's very important to realize. So in doing that, they've basically had the content, big emphasis on the content, tweaking that, honing that, doing that better, and then automating some things like call to actions within content and utilizing it in a way where it's like more eyes will get on them. And then I've talked about this a fair bit before, being value-based. They are very value-based. They get excellent results, like 100% through rate for all their clients that follow their programs. They're able to get results within the first like 30 days. They offer those programs as well, or like a 30-day program for free to people. Hey, get your results, do this, and then think about how much higher you can go with it. It's very value-based. It's very like things people actually need and want, and then you address that in the content. Here's why you're not getting the results you want. Here's why. Here's what will get you the results that you want, and here's how to apply it. Here's a free thing that we have that's going to get you the results that you want and help you overcome the things, as well as like diving into why they're not getting results, like why you haven't gotten these results, because you're doing a bunch of random TikTok workouts and not getting results because you keep switching and flipping and flopping that way. That's a big thing to go into, because when they've done that, they've been actually able to command much more authority with their content. So, yeah, that's a big thing there. Yeah. And when it comes down to it, it really does just come down to you being willing to implement the things. And one of the things that a lot of coaches never realize to implement is seeking help. Like, you don't know what you don't know. There are some things strategically these lads did not know when they started up with us. It was kind of like, oh, like, they've got some semblance of what works, but it's like they wanted to go further than they already were now. They wanted to get there faster and better and lay a better foundation to get to like millions a year in their business. And like we said before, it's not a bad thing. Like, and it's good to be able to talk openly about money, because that's one of the best ways to deal with a bad relationship with money. And yeah, it's good to have those aspirations, and you do it in the right way. You do it with integrity. You do it with, I'm forgetting the word. Integrity essentially summarizes it. Then, you can do great things with that. You can serve God with that, if that's what you choose to do. That's obviously what I'd recommend to do with it, and have your business facilitate you living a life that serves God, even if your business itself may not directly serve God, as long as it doesn't go against God. But then some businesses will directly serve God, and that's your call. This client, not necessarily a business that directly serves God in that sense, but neither does a fitness business in like my sense. So it is what it is. But yeah, a lot of it came to implementing that stuff and being able to seek out and be like, you know what, you know how to do this, and you know how to get to where I want to go. You have done it, and you know how to help other people get there. So please teach me. Like, I want to learn. And that's how you get ahead. And that's how you progress faster and better. And like 200K a year, I think Jana was running me through some stats before. I can't remember the exactamundo numbers, but it is a very small percentage of business owners that are actually ever able to do that. It is like, let me see. Like, even most businesses don't even make it past 5 years. Like, there's a 90% failure rate of businesses. So you got that side of things. I'm just trying to pull up those stats. Oh yeah, so 86.3% of businesses never cross six figures. So to have even done that is crazy. And between 4 to 10% of businesses make between 100 to 250K. So that's a huge thing. Like, a huge success for these guys is being able to be like literally the 4 to 10% of businesses that are at even between 100 to 250K. So like 200K a month is huge. So I'm real stoked for their success and like what they've been implementing. They've been putting in this hard work, doing all this stuff and just doing everything to a T. Like what we've said, they've implemented. That's a big one there. And essentially just every day they're becoming better and better leaders to set a higher and higher standard that as a result, people come into their world and they subconsciously are like, okay, I have to rise to this standard, even by way of the performance and like their performance from the programs. It's like, okay, here's the standard that they set by way of their leadership, by way of their capabilities as well, their physical capabilities. I've got to strive and I've got to go, do this, show up. And yeah, sorry, another thing that I didn't really say is they, and this is a big one. They have a community. So they have a community by way of their current clients and like their audience as well. So, and their current clients are part of their audience, obviously, with their content. So they lean into that, and we know how to build that side of things up to actually have clients stay on for years, for long periods of time. Obviously, they've been in business for like a year and a half now. So I don't even think fully a year and a half, just over a year or something like that. A year, maybe a year and a quarter. So that's huge to be able to do that. And yeah, they really have a strong emphasis on the community side of things, by way of like, you get in, there are these awesome like things that exclusive things people in the community get. And so it's like, oh, I want to be part of this community. There are catchy little things within it as well. And yeah, and then even the people, all the new people coming into that, you can feel that, you can sense that. And it's like, it's different. It's like a community of high level athletes basically. And yeah, so that's a big thing there. big ups to them for that success. There's even more to come. They're going to go higher and higher wherever they want. And yeah, I'm really excited for what's in store for them, and really just pumped to even be able to look back now and be like, they've come so far since starting with us, since the start of the year. Excuse me. More than doubling their income. And like, here's a big thing, is like getting to live more of the lives that they want to live, that are in accordance with the lifestyles they want to live, with their ability to choose what to do. And if one of those things is to serve God, then serve God. To have that lifestyle freedom as well. To not just have to be like, okay, I have to be a personal trainer. All of my time is tied directly to being in the gym. Now it's not. Now, even if they don't step foot into the gym for the next year, they're set. They're solid. They've got this side of things. So you get the ability to make money, and like an uncapped amount of money, because what are you going to charge, like $1,000 a person? You could, as a personal trainer, to thingo it in a normal commercial gym. Maybe, I mean, you can. It's not outside the realm of possibility. But like, to be tied down and do that amount of physical work, like face to face, your time is so limited. Your time is capped. So this is basically not having your income be restricted by your time. So it's like being able to make sales in your sleep, book calls in your sleep,